Can I start?
Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. Today we are so fortunate to have His Grace, Yugal Kishore Prabhuji from Detroit, and today Prabhuji is going to enlighten us on Srimad Bhagvatam, Canto 7, Chapter 15, verse 47 onwards. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, and please take over the call.
अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति शुभदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं श्री कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुनाथारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम् नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नमस्ते सरस्वती गौराणी प्रचारिणे विशेषण Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 15, text number 47. The chapter entitled Instructions for Civilized Human Beings. Pravrittam cha nivrittam cha dvividam karma vaidikam avartate pravrittena nivrittena smrite smritam nivrittena smrite mritam. According to the Vedas, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. According to the Vedas, there are two kinds of activities, pravritti and nivritti. Pravritti activities involve raising oneself from a lower to a higher condition of the materialistic life, whereas nivritti means the cessation of material desire. Through pravritti activities, one suffers from material entanglement. But by nivritti activities, one is purified and becomes fit to enjoy eternal blissful life. Purport by doing this Bhaktivan Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 16:7. Pravrittam cha nivrittam cha janana vidur asura. The asuras, non-devotees, cannot distinguish between pravritti and nivritti. Whatever they like, they do. Such persons think themselves independent of the strong material nature, and therefore they are irresponsible and do not care to act piously. Indeed, they do not distinguish between pious and impious activity. Bhakti, of course, does not depend on pious or impious activity. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1 to 6. Savai pumsam paro dharma hito bhakti radokshije ahaitika pratyata yatmas prasidati. The supreme occupation, dharma for all humanity, is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendent Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted in order to completely satisfy the self. Nonetheless, those who act piously have a better chance to become devotees. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7.16, Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritano Arjuna. Arjuna, four kinds of pious men render devotional service unto me. One who takes two devotional service, even with some material motive, is considered pious because he has come to Krishna. He will gradually come to the stage of bhakti. Then, like Dhruva Maharaj, he will refuse to accept any material benediction from the Lord. Swamin Krudaradasmi Varamnayache. Therefore, even if one is materially inclined, one may take to the shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna and Balaram or Gaura and Nitai, so that he will very soon be purified of all material desires. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma sasvachanta nigacchati. As soon as one is freed from inclinations toward pious and impious activities, he becomes a perfect candidate for returning home back to Godhead. Amazing. So, today we are talking about pravritti and nivritti, sense enjoyment and bhakti. You know, sense, of course, basically material enjoyment. You know, material enjoyment includes sense enjoyment of all the 10 senses, mind, mental enjoyment, where mind is involved, intellectual enjoyment, their intelligence is involved, and where ego, false ego is ahankar, ego, false ego enjoyment, where false ego enjoys. Hare Krishna. So, but soul is above actually different from all these things. You know, soul is different from all these four things I told you. That's the reason why, to whatever extent I try to enjoy the senses and mind, and with intelligence and ego, that much extent we go away from spirituality. Even if it is true for devotees also. But only difference between non-devotee and devotee is devotees are endeavoring. So very soon they will attain the perfection. But for some reason, devotees, they become negligent, they become lax, relaxed, and they don't understand this principle. And they put one foot on one boat of sense enjoyment, another foot on another boat of bhakti. Actually, it is okay initially. Even it's okay for a long time. But one day, we have to consciously take that foot and come to the path of bhakti. Honestly speaking, we don't need to do that. Krishna will, if we are sincere on the path of bhakti, Krishna will facilitate. Krishna will help us do that. Because you're already enjoying on the path of, you're enjoying the bhakti. The elements of bhakti you're already enjoying. Kirtan, you're enjoying. Prasad, you're enjoying. And association, you're enjoying. Chanting, you're enjoying. And serving for Guru and Krishna, you're enjoying. Then, then naturally, what happens? The sensual enjoyment and other types of enjoyment, they go down. You know. But what is that? Anyway, if somebody allows me to share the screen, I'll show you something interesting. You know, because Dhruva is mentioned
Yes,
anyway.
Prabhuji.
You know, so Dhruva is mentioned. The power of bhakti. So Dhruva is mentioned. I just want to show a couple of things actually. Uh, so what I will do, I will just uh, uh, I'll share the PowerPoint up to a few minutes later. But so um, this verse is very, very important. Problem is, I'll take few minutes to explain this. Please, my humble request, listen carefully. We are not, the first lesson of Gita is we are not the body. We are a spirit soul. Second point is because of the rope of ahankar. Because of ahankar, we identify with the temporary body. And the soul, having identified itself with the temporary metal body made up of earth, water, fire, ether, starts enjoying the senses with sense objects. Starts enjoying the senses with the sense objects. Tongue is looking for nice food, you know. Nose is looking for nice smells. Eyes are looking for, nice places to see. Okay, long weekend is coming. All the people of Florida will go to New York. All the people of New York will go to Florida. Some people will go to Grand Canyon. Some will go to Niagara. So we like to see the places. That's what we are providing enjoyment to the eyes. And skin is looking for opposite sex touch. So when the soul is actually being absorbed in bodily consciousness, it tries to satisfy the demands of senses by providing sense objects. Few things will happen. What is that? One, the mind becomes dull. Two, the senses become very powerful. Three, um, the mind becomes dull and it may lead to even mental problems. Four, initially mind looks for sattvagun enjoyment, but later it will slowly drift down to rajogun enjoyment and even tamagun enjoyment. So what is the consequence? We'll get next lifetime, will not get the human life, but we may get into lower species, maybe trees and some animals. But in this life, what is another consequence? We'll become arrogant. If you see Kubera's sons, they were enjoying publicly with the women in Mandakini Ganga. Hare Krishna. But Narada when he came, they didn't take care. They were drinking and they were womanizing. So initially, enjoyment may be in the mode of goodness, but later it will shift to mode of passion and ignorance. Then 18th chapter Bhagavad Gita. What is that? That happiness which is derived from the contact of senses with their sense objects, which appears like nectar at the first, but poison at the end, is said to be the nature of passion. Wow. Amazing. Parinamam Vishamevava. What is that? Bhagavad Gita is telling Vishayendriya Samyogad Yattad Agre Amrutam Amrutopam Pariname Vishameva Tatsukam Rajasam Sritam. So, yes, Rasgulla is very nice. Gulab Jamun is nice. In between, samosa is nice. But what is happening? How much you enjoy? 30 seconds? Maybe samosa combination 1.5 minute. When diabetes comes, wow, so much suffering. People keep on eating samosas, fried stuff. When the heart attack comes, wow. So it appears like nectar in the beginning, but parinamam vishamevava, poison at the end. But contrary to that, the above one is that which in the beginning may be just like poison, but at the end is just like nectar, and which awakens one to the self-realization is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. Wow. Get up in the morning, attend Mangalarti. Ooh, difficult. Chant 616 notes, above more difficult. Impossible. Come to temple, do service. No, I cannot do service. Pot washing. Oof, I have done my engineering from, I have done I'm a doctor, I'm an engineer. How can I do this? How can you ask me to do this? Such menial services. But they are painful to the ego. They are painful to the ego. But when you do that, what is telling? Set to be in the mode of happiness, you'll go back to Godhead, sir. Ma'am, you'll go back to Godhead. Forget about going back to Godhead next lifetime. This lifetime, your life will become better. Your senses are purified. Tatparatena nirmalam. Your senses are purified, and your consciousness is purified, and your mind is purified, and then what happens is you will make right decisions. Your life will become better. I'm sure all the Hare Krishna's devotees in the call, they agree. Their life is much better than what they were. They are much better than what they were 10, 15 years ago. How many of you agree? Huh? Do you agree? So, that's because we are slowly coming to mode of goodness. It is difficult in the beginning, but after some time, for example, some of us may be non-vegetarian, but our few years ahead, we don't even think of it, So, in fact, tapo, that's what Rishabhdev tells his children. Tapo divyam putrakayena sudhya tasmata brahma saukyam anantam. Brahma saukyam anantam. So, and the point is, one should not go towards sense enjoyment. One should go towards tapasya, austerity. I have a question for all of you, if you don't mind, before I show the presentation. And I'm sure you're ready. First question is, body is dead. Trust me, body is dead. Body doesn't have any life. What animates the body is actually soul. That's why as long as soul is there in the body, we are flapping our wings, we are moving our hands, and there's a mobility, we're thinking, feeling, willing is there. But the moment soul leaves the body, what is, that's it, whichever position body is, and that's it, body remains in that position only. So body is dead, but the soul is the one that is animating body. Good. So body is dead, body cannot enjoy. The soul is spiritual. Soul doesn't enjoy matter. Then who is enjoying gulab jamun that I purchased from market? It's not prasad. Who is enjoying I don't know whether I asked this question in this group or not, but it's very important. I'm sure you understood. Bodies, who is enjoying?
The senses.
Senses. Somebody said senses. Anybody?
So, Prabhuji, the soul is covered. There are layers of coverings on the soul which are material.
Okay.
And so, indirectly, the soul enjoys because it is attracted to matter.
No, but soul doesn't enjoy matter, Prabhu. Soul enjoys only spirit, spiritual stuff.
Yeah, but if it's covered with the layers of contamination of material, likings, then what happens?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
The
Mind.
subtle body.
Sorry.
Somebody said something.
Hare Krishna Guruji.
Mind. Okay. Somebody else.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, subtle body. There are subtle bodies covering.
Subtle body. Okay.
I think
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
mind. It's mind.
Mind. Okay.
Yeah, Krishna, Hare Krishna Prabhu, it's matter combining with matter. And like Mataji said, I think it's just a game of mind. Nobody is enjoying it. It's just that mind is trying to play tricks on us.
No, but actually, no, after the class is over, we'll all go for breakfast. Of course, it's prasad. That's different. That's why I said you've been to market and you purchased before coming to Krishna consciousness. So, who is enjoying? Some answers are very good, but anyway, we'll not waste time. Actually, it is false ego, ahankar. The face of the false ego is actually mind, but honestly speaking, the person, the thing, the person who enjoys the matter is actually ahankar. Burjan Prabhu says, we say during chanting, my mind is the problem. No, mind is not the actually who is mind is the front face of ego, false ego, ahankar. Ahankar enjoys, but ahankar doesn't have existence. Why? Bhumirapanalo vayu kammuno buddhirev chahankaramiti me bhinna prakriti ashtada. Krishna says in Gita, Arjuna, my Maya is spread. in 8 ways. Maya is not what we are. That's why despite our repeated sense enjoyment, despite our endeavor to enjoy, and despite our enjoyment experiences, a jiva is left dissatisfied. Why? Jiva is left dissatisfied because the soul doesn't enjoy. You're all in the call is a standing testimony that you have your soul has enjoyed. You means your soul actually. So your soul means you. You know, it's a standing testimony that you enjoyed once, not the mind, not the intelligence, not ego. But in other cases, throughout our life, most of the people in the world, they keep on satisfying the false ego. And somebody said subtle body. You know, that's true. Subtle body is specifically false ego. You know. So what is end result? Parinamam vishmeva. End result is suffering. Every enjoyment. I don't know how many of you are seeing my hand, but this is the enjoyment we do. This much enjoyment and this much suffering. This much enjoyment, this much suffering. This much enjoyment, this much suffering. What is the beauty? The beauty is we don't give it up. Second canto Bhagavatam. Whatever I'm telling, you know, everything is from second canto. We don't give it up. See the power of Maya. Maya Dhrotya, Krishna is telling. We are telling this, I've been telling this. Do you think I'm immune from this? No. But of course, we need to resolve. I will enjoy, serving Krishna. We don't enjoy enjoying. One sannyasi said, we enjoy being enjoyed by Krishna. That is the highest form of devotional service, highest form of bhakti. Raghunathas Goswami initially was supplying, he was taking money from his father and arranging feasts to Lord Chaitanya. But sometime later he stopped it. Next level. Begging at the Simhadwara gate. Then he felt himself like a prostitute. This person will give money, this person will give money. He stopped that. Then what he did? He started going to the booths where they would give free prasad. He stopped that also. So likewise, so what he's doing is he's cutting down the level of he's increasing his spiritual, he's increasing himself on the level of spirituality, on the level of bhakti, devotion service, and is cutting on gross enjoyment to subtle enjoyment. Finally, Raghunath Das Goswami came to only drinking a cup of milk, sorry, a cup of buttermilk, chas, once in a week, few spoonfuls. Wow. Taking money from the father and serving feast to Lord Chaitanya is bhakti, no doubt. Because you have pure motive. But Raghunath Das Goswami stand out and is tapasya to please Radharani, please Krishna was intense. Please Lord Chaitanya was intense. So we should have, goal of life is I am a spirit soul. First thing is acquisition of knowledge. Acquiring knowledge is very important. Second thing is trying to work on that platform. I'm honest with you, it's not easy for me also. I've been trying and struggling. I want to make right choices. It's not easy because Tamoguna and Rajoguna is very strong. To be situated in Sattva, in material world, Sattva is not pure. In the material world, Sattva is contaminated with Raja and Tamo. But the moment through when we come to mode of goodness and practice bhakti and keep on making right decisions, and we become situated on path of pure bhakti. Pure bhakti may be difficult for us. Sincere bhakti. My Sri Mahaprabhu says that. I don't want to become a great devotee. I want to become a sincere devotee. What is the goal of life? Please Krishna. Samsiddhar haritoshanam savai pumsam parodharma yato bhaktir dokshaje Ahetigati apratiyati yatma suprasidati. By performing unmotivated, uninterrupted bhakti to Krishna, only soul is happy. If not, soul is not happy. When we do mixed devotion service, soul is not happy. But soul gets mixed reactions. Indra and Rudrasura's story, Indra was performing mixed devotion service, Rudrasura was performing pure devotion service. Wow. But Rudrasura was a demon, as everyone was thinking. So, but anyway, what is the good news Prabhupada is telling here? Worship Krishna and Balram, worship Gaur Nitai, worship Radhana Krishna. Krishna will purify you, sir. Purify you, ma'am. Don't worry. Continue doing your bhakti. Try your best. Krishna will help. So anyway, the one I want to show is this. This what I want to show you. The reason is this. Uttanapad. Why that story is very important for us? Can everyone see the screen? So Uttanapad, Swayambhu Manu named his son Uttanapad. Uttan means flipping over, tilt. Krishna, like children, 3 months later they'll tilt. They'll flip over. Many parents say, oh, today my son flipped over after a few months. I don't know any mother thought like that, or father. Krishna flipped over. Then that's called Uttan. But here Uttanapad, he was flip over from head to feet. Why did Swayambhu Manu name his son Uttanapad? Beta, I have a question for all of you. How do we come into this world? Head down, feet up. We are all Uttanapad only. We are all Uttanapad only. You are listening? So, head down, feet up. So, Uttanapad had 2 wives, Suruchi, Suniti. Suniti means Nivritti Marga, Bhakti, path of righteousness. Suruchi means Pravritti Marga, Suruchi, enjoyment of sensual pleasures. So, Swayambhu Manu was telling, if you go for sense enjoyment, Pravritti Marga, Suruchi, you will continue to be Uttanapad only. But if you take shelter of Bhakti, Suniti, if you love Suniti, wife Suniti, you don't need to be Uttanapad, you will be liberated, you will go back to Godhead. But interestingly, Uttanapad was actually, he was liking Suruchi, not liking Suniti. Hare Krishna. Our stories are so wonderful, huh? What do you think? Right? So Uttanapad was for some reason liking Pravritti Marga, means continue. So I want to continue cycle of birth and death. Not soon, he was not, I mean, of course, he's Rajarshi, but still that enjoyment is there. But then what happened? His stepmother offended him. So Suruchi gave birth to Uttam, and Suniti gave birth to Dhruva. Dhruva means determination. If you take up the path of Krishna consciousness, Krishna will give you the determination, sir. Your Guru will give you the determination, ma'am. But sincerity. But of course, he was offended. Stepmother, when you go for Suruchi, when you take shelter of sense objects, what will trigger? Envy. Stepmother said, you should die. You should worship Narayan. And, then die and take birth from you. Then only you can sit on the lap of the father. So life means challenges. Challenges will come to us every day. Families, there are challenges in the family. Believe me, it's not today, Kali Yuga. This story is Satyuga. Satyuga also challenges are there. Human relations are always fragile, frail. But Suniti, Uttanapad didn't support. The stepmother, that was a heavy statement for a 5-year-old boy. He was looking for support from the father. Father didn't care. Father was scared of his stepmother and scared of his wife. What will she think? Then he came back. Mother had 3 choices. So, it was too much for Suniti. But Suniti's response is amazing. I don't think I'll finish the class today, but that's why what I will do, and we'll skip it. There are today. There are 3 responses I gave, 4 responses I gave. Just did the seminar. But Suniti told her son, amazing. Your co-wife is actually, first thing is your husband is not taking care of you. So naturally, all the relatives are thinking, your parents are thinking, oh, my daughter is actually, wife of my daughter is a queen whose husband rules the whole world. My daughter is the happiest person on the planet. Is that true? No. She is miserable because husband doesn't take care of her. On the top of it, she is sad because this has been going on for a long time. But suddenly what happened? Co-wife is actually exploiting the situation. It's happening to her also. This line is directly from Bhagavatam. Don't wish anything inauspicious for others. Anyone who inflicts pains upon others suffers himself from that same pain. This line, he took it from Bhagavatam, 4th canto. And she said, give up your envious attitude. I want a planet bigger than my grandfather. You are asking this because of envy. Don't do that. But Suniti is amazing. What she said, execute the instructions of your stepmother. Your stepmother said, though it's a heavy statement, your stepmother gave us clue. What is that? Worship Krishna. Take shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dhruva, he walked out and with determination, because of sincerity, because of his mother's prayers, mother's blessings, Dhruva got the association of Narada Muni. Narada Muni gave him the instructions. Om Namo Bhagavate was the mantra he gave, and he told him how to carve the deity of Vishnu, the deity of Krishna, and he told him to go to Madhuvan and perform bhakti. Then what Dhruva did? Intense tapasya he did. Wow, amazing, huh? Nivritti Marga. He ate fruits only 3rd day, 1st month. He ate dry grass and leaves on 6th day, 2nd month. Wow. 6th month, 6th day. Means you have eaten fruits. 1st month, 3rd day only he would eat again. Then 2nd month, he ate dry leaves, grass, and again next week only he'll eat. And 3rd month, he drank only water on 9th day. Amazing. And the 4th month, he inhaled air only on the 12th day. Because of this much sense control, so what he did, he controls. Then of 5th month, he controlled his breathing also. He stopped breathing. Because of that, he could stand on one leg and focus on Krishna, and he captured Krishna actually. He captured the Paramatma, Super Soul, Vishnu. Amazing, right? Then Krishna came. Krishna's expansion, Vishnu came. What do you want? If Dhruva didn't take out the list from his pocket and read all the needs he had, desires he had, Vishnu said, ask, what do you want? I can give you. No, my lord, I don't need anything. Please ask, I don't know why you came. And finally he said, what he said? Kachan vichinvan atidevya ratnam swamin krutardasmi varam nayache. My lord, I came for broken piece of glass, but I got you, the diamond. Why do I need broken piece of glass? If I ask for green card will after few years I'll die anyway. Citizenship, green card or citizenship. If I ask for what presidentship, prime ministership, still that is only few years. If I will ask long life, Still I have to die. Everyone has to die in this world. If I ask what a planet, any position, it's temporary. Money, that will be there, I want to be there. Everything, relationships, temporary. What is permanent? Shelter of your lotus feet. I don't need anything. But still, so Vishnu found him very responsible and asked him to rule for 36,000 years, one kalpa. Free from old age, disease and death. Then Vishnu told him, come back. To spiritual world, I'll give you a planet bigger than your grandfather. Great-grandfather Brahma. During Pralaya, universal devastation, your grandfather planet is destroyed. But Polestar, Dhruvaloka is actually spiritual world. It's not destroyed. So that's what is that? That's what I want to tell you. I could have told more, but due to time constraint, I had to. Any question or comment? What is that? Samsiddhar. Atappum vidyajasreshta varnasram vivagasa swanasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. What is the goal of human life? What is the goal of varnashram dharma? Pleasing Krishna. Which is not easy though. Please forgive me, I have spoken anything wrong. Thank you for your patient audience. Any question or comment? Anyone has any question?
My Dhanas Pranam, all goes to Guru Maharaj. So you were asking about the question like us getting tempted to eat something, and then what happens is that subtle senses are there, right? That part I'm not able to understand, and it is connected to mind. So how do we make our mind and senses and the subtle thing strong, so we can, because some of us are not in the setup of the temple where the devotees all around us, and sometimes with loving, some family member will open like a sweet box and offer, and then when we tell them, it's like telling we don't want to eat, so we just take the piece and offer in the mind, and then don't want to offend them also, and not become like very fanatic like that. So then that way, then although it's not recommended to do the 3 times Vishnu, it's better to even if something comes from outside, but it doesn't happen every time. We're outside somewhere. So how do we make these strong and at the same time not offend anyone, so we can only take prasadam? And that's my question.
Nice question, Mata. Thank you. I know outside, when people live in the outside world, it's not easy because you're already interacting with so many sense objects and so many areas. So, but as much as possible, if you remain sincere, Krishna will help. Whatever you said is fine. So emergency situation is there. So you can say in the mind, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, and you can eat just to please them. But it is an only exception, not the rule. It doesn't, you made a point, it doesn't happen every day anyway. So, but every time we give into the mind our determination to go beyond the level of mind and intellect and ego, our determination becomes weak and weaker. Every time we give into the demands of mind and senses and ego, we are sliding down. Every time we give into performing austerities, performing devotional service, devotional activities, our resolve to remain a devotee, our or our progress, progress becomes certain, and we accelerate on our progress. But every time we give in to the senses and sensual demands and mental and egoistic demands, we slide down. That's what happens actually. We go, sometimes we go down 2 feet down, and we go 2 feet up. So, but still, we as long as we are committed to pleasing Guru and Krishna, and as long as we are stuck to the process, we make progress. So don't worry about the exceptions, like what you said. Once in a while they happen. So Krishna is not a hard-headed master. Krishna is a very soft-hearted father. Krishna knows everything about us. Does it answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, we often hear that, he's a bhavagrahi, like, he's seeing a bhav, especially when we're offering. So he's like not hard-hearted in that sense. Yeah, but then still we should try our best to, offer. And I also heard that, like when we are, say we have to get a laddu, may offer some laddus, it's to get from the market and then offer will not be a very special offering unless we make it from scratch and offer, because that's where our effort is there, and we are right from the ingredients to making, we dedicate the whole process, thought process to, offer to our Guru and Parampara and Krishna. So you have some thoughts on that also to share as such?
No, the last 2 lines I didn't get it.
Yeah, like we make effort when we have to cook something. We make all the effort to get the ingredients. We cook. We do that extra effort when we cook at home, other than we get from outside. It might be a very pure shop and everything. I'm just giving an example of like a sweet laddu. So, but the same thing prepared at home, will it be offered? Will it be accepted by Krishna more if we make at home the same laddu or get from outside?
Yes. Prabhupada said, grow your own food, grow your own vegetables, grow your own flowers. You have actually a backyard. Honestly speaking, we should not buy outside and offer it to Krishna. Maybe initially, okay, I really do not know. That's not encouraged. For example, anybody comes and outsiders, they come to our temple, they buy a sweet box. So this is a temple. We are living in temple. We have deities, Radha Krishna deities. Gaurnita deities we have. So what we do, we put a tulsi leaf offer to Krishna, and immediately we give that box to them and say, please take it home. It's offered. I saw this practice in India, and in ISKCON temples. So there and then we put tulsi leaf. I lived in Mumbai temple, Chapel temple for 2.5, 3 years. So they would put a tulsi leaf and offer it to Krishna, leave it for 1 minute. And 1 minute later, they give the box to him and Prabhu, thank you, Krishna, offering is done. And you take it home. They're so happy because it was offered on the altar. So, but for us, no, we should, as much as we should not buy anything, especially cooked foods, we should not buy from outside. If you really want to make progress, because the contamination enters with the tongue. The person who is not very strict with the tongue, especially outside foodstuffs. Jihvera lalasa hoy iti udidaya sishnodar parayana Krishna nahi paya. Act of instruction. A person to satisfy the tongue, they're going here and there, they will not get Krishna, it is mentioned. But of course, what is that? The children are there, family is there, that's, they're not devotees, that's a different thing. There may be some concession, but we should try to be as strict as possible. Any other question? I hope it answers your question.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much.
Right.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I have a question. Rather than a question, I want to understand the way I interpret is whatever I'm hearing is that basically we exist everything in false ego today, right, Subhaji? Like everything we do, we are doing because of false ego. Is that a correct way of thinking? I mean, we are not yet connected to our soul or understand what the soul needs. Whatever we are functioning today is all driven by our false ego and mind.
I agree. Yes. As long as we identify ourselves with the body, we identify ourselves with the designations. You're right. I fully agree with you. You know, but that's why when you come to the temple, when you deal with devotees, that is when I'm a devotee. I'm a devotee. I'm trying to become a devotee. I should become a devotee. I know. So when you come to the temple or when you're in the association of devotees, wherever you are, you're identifying with the devotee. I'm servant of Krishna. Naham vipro nacha narapati napi vaishya sudro naham panni nacha gruhapatir namanasto etiriva kintu prodya nikala paramananda purnamrita up there gopi bhartar patikamalera dasa dasa. This is the mantra we recite before going on the altar. Before we go for any dressing or anything. So what it means, I am not a brahmachari, I am not a gruhastha, I am not a vanaprastha, I am not a sannyasi. I am not a brahmana, I am not a kshatriya, I am not a vaishya, and I am not a sudra. Then who are you then? I am servant of Krishna, the husband of gopis. That is a designation. But as I said in the beginning, as you said, you right, correctly said, we always identify with our designations. I'm an engineer, I'm a doctor, I'm a woman, I'm this, So when we identify ourselves with the designations, it means we identify ourselves with the false ego. Okay, thank you much. Any other question?
Prabhuji, just addition to that, and is that because of that we are getting all these sufferings, right? And
yes.
It is because of that we are not able to get close to Krishna or understand Krishna. So Prabhuji, again, I know this is a process, but how to watch ourselves and try and make ourselves more aware of our soul rather than the false ego as we go through the day. I mean, I know it because I'm trying. It's very difficult. It's really impossible. And I heard in Keshav Maharaj's lecture that we should think, I am a soul and I have a body, rather than I am a body and body has a soul. It made a very profound impact on me. But somehow still, it seems to be very unreachable or unrealistic to kind of relate every day, every minute. It's only when you're sitting and really thinking it comes to you. But in your normal day to day, it is so difficult to remember and exist. So, do you have any suggestions?
No,
you're
you're perfect. First thing is read Bhagavad Gita. Sambandha Jnana. We need to acquire Sambandha Jnana. Sambandha Jnana means you have a relationship with so many people. This is my husband, this is my son, this is my daughter, this is my boss. So that's all connected to the body. Mataji, your connection to this world is through the body. But when we read Bhagavad Gita, when we chant Hare Krishna mantra, holy name, Harinam, so that is when we are trying to establish our connection with Krishna. So simple thing is, when we do Bhakti Yoga process, that is when we are trying to revive our original constitutional position. We are trying to come out of the platform of soul. Rest of the time, no. Rest of the time, false ego is dealing with false ego, which has a face mind, is dealing with sense objects. What is the end result? Of frustration. I'm telling you, trust me, telling is easy. Maya is very difficult to overcome. So when we come together, actually, when we understand we are tip of the hair, 10 power minus 4 tip of the hair, you become humble. I've been practicing for so many, more than, close to more than 2 decades and less than 3 decades. In 2-3 years, I'll finish 30 years also. Amma, I've been giving so many lectures also. I'll tell you, I went to Mayapur, and there were like 2,000 people. We all want to catch a glimpse of Narsimha Swami because nursing the altar is very small. And there's so much push. First time I understood. Otherwise, what? I'm a devotee, I'm a temple president, I am a Brahmin, there are also designations. But when I understood that we are trying to catch a glimpse of nursing them in that 5 minutes, I said, wow, I'm really insignificant. That happened, that dawned, that realization came to me after so many years. Actually, last Kartik it happened. So thing is, to become free from this conditioning is not easy. That's why as much as possible we should stay in the association of devotees. We should read, we should chant the holy name. When we put our finger in the bead bag, we have to make this life as last life. Enough is enough. Tiny happiness, but the happiness of 30 seconds gulab jamun, but the diabetes means so many injections and so much pain. Sometimes they'll amputate the leg also, like limbs also. Where is the happiness? So who is our enemy? Our mind, front face of ego, our senses. Nobody's a bigger enemy than these. We are living with our enemies. So sadhana, rise in the morning, sleep early, rise early, chant your rounds, and eat only prasad. Offer to Krishna food, offer food to Krishna. You cook and eat only prasad. And go for preaching, book for if you don't know preaching, book distribution. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Any other question or comment?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for the lecture. Just very nice. So one quick question I have. As you were saying about Dhruv Maharaj, he was chanting, and but why was he controlling his breathing and standing on one foot? Was that a part of his bhakti offering to Vishnu?
Nice question. Thank you. Actually, this is Satyuga. Satyuga, the process was meditation. So he adopted Ashtanga Yoga process, but it's bhakti only. Because Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya mantra is there, he worshipped the deity in a Vishnu form. So, but what he did, because Satyuga, the process meditation. So, what he did? He did to accelerate the process of attaining Vishnu. He achieved it through Ashtanga Yoga. He added Ashtanga Yoga because he used Ashtanga Yoga in Bhakti process. That's also it became Bhakti actually. Anything you do for the pleasure of Krishna, that's Bhakti Yoga. So what he did, he adopted Ashtanga Yoga process. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Dharana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Samadhi. So because rigorous austerity he did it, he brought mind and senses under control in in a month. What a personality, yeah? Wow. I mean, we can also, like, what is that verse? Yakkaroti yadashnasi yadjihosi dadasi yattapasisi kaunteya tatkurushva madarpanam. Dhruva is offering all these things for the pleasure of Krishna. So it's bhakti. Actually, what is that? Sachinanda Maharaj book. He took it from Bhagavatam only. The chant about chanting. If you have problem controlling the mind and breath, they are directly connected. So if you try to, he added this one point after so many years in the recent book. Just chanting is enough. But Prabhupada writes, if the sense enjoyment is too much, mind doesn't listen. Then you'll be frustrated. Then what you do? Mechanical meditative process. Do the pranayam. Do the pranayam. If you're a good devotee, you don't need pranayam actually. You find happiness in chanting, and you slowly you will overcome the you'll overcome the weakness of losing focus, inattentiveness. But but you have a problem after so many years. There is nothing wrong doing pranayam. It is mentioned in Bhagavatam. Because pranayam, it helps you regulate the breath. This breath and mind are connected. So the moment when you are able to, whichever way, Krishna says, whichever you bring mind under control and focus on me, yattapasyasi kaunteya. But you're actually, honestly speaking, if you do genuine chanting, you don't need pranayama actually, because pranayama happens when you're chanting, when you do nice chanting. Actually, when you do chanting, not nice chanting. If you chant sincerely, chant, without your knowledge, it's happening. Actually, it happens. But Prabhupada says some people are so fallen, so difficult. Prabhupada mentioned 6th chapter Bhagavad Gita. For them, okay, let's do pranayama. You're understanding?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Thank you. Because I totally understand, like Nirjala Kashi is on Friday. I'm stressing out from now. I might not even do Nirjal because my health doesn't allow. But like you said, it's so hard to control senses. It's very, very hard. So thank you very much, Prabhuji.
It is all, Amma, it is all in the mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trust me, it's all in the mind. I mean, if health doesn't support, that's a different thing. But I'll tell you, the moment, for example, you resolve to fast, that day you'll become angry at 7 o'clock. It's all trick of the mind. You say, no, tomorrow I'm not going to follow Ekadasi, I'll eat, you'll become hungry at 9 o'clock only. Honestly speaking, the food that we eat, body doesn't need it. Who needs mind? Because we are so much used to eating a particular portion, particular quantity. The time when it comes, body's tired. I'm not hungry, but mind says I'm hungry. And when Ayurvedic doctor told me, when I told him this, he said, "Your hunger is false hunger." He said, "Wow, amazing." Who is demanding? Mind is demanding. Body is not demanding because for body is struggling. That's why body says I don't want. Mind and tongue, they have colluded each other and they give so much trouble to us. Any other question or comment?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So are you saying that to live, we don't need food?
We don't need so much food. Honestly speaking, Dhruva Maharaj Amma, just now I showed Dhruva Maharaj, he fasted. Day one, 5-year-old boy, third day he ate fruits. Second month, he ate only dry leaves. Third month, he took water on 9th day. Fourth month, he stopped water also. He's not 25-year-old, very young man. No, he's 5-year-old. We don't need. But the problem is why we need. We are unable to get energy from soul. Today we are not on that platform. Kali Yuga prana is an anna. Anna means food. We are all Kali Yuga category. So we cannot derive pleasure from. There are so many saints in the history. Actually, I'm from a village. One lady is there, still alive, 90 plus. She doesn't eat. She looks so healthy. If you look at her, she looks like 60-year-old. Yeah. So
So they derive energy from the prana.
they get energy from nature. So, if you're okay, this is the thing. Raghunath Das Goswami and all will derive pleasure from energy from grace of Krishna, Radharani. Raghunath Das Goswami would drink a cup of buttermilk once a week. But Ashtanga yogis, they derive pleasure from, they derive energy from nature. They can they derive energy from maybe sunlight, like that. It's possible. And from some people derive energy from wind. But we are not on that level. We are actually, ISKCON means prasad anyway. And prasad is one of the most important parts of our bhakti. And Prabhupada, if you see Prabhupada ate nicely actually. But Prabhupada ate prasad is prasad. These are Krishna's remnants. Let me taste it. Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a chapter, Lord Chaitanya tasted the nectar of Krishna's lips. Adharamritam. So there is nothing wrong eating prasad. Actually, eating prasad will make much more progress than doing all this tapasya. We should not do anything artificial and ruin our health. We know our abilities, we know our limitations. So it's better, if you can do nirjal, perfect. If not, eat prasad and do service. That's very important. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, sure, the mother.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for such a nectarian class and for emphasizing on importance of eating prasadam as much as possible. But Prabhu, I have one question. Like, function of tongue is to enjoy and to speak, right? So, what are the regulations about speech? And then we have another sense, hearing, right? So sometimes, even with speech, we speak things that are not palatable, that are not advised or recommended by acharyas, and then there are certain things that go through our ears, right? So, like we have a filter for prasadam, like for what we eat through our tongue. Can you please give some advice on that filter of speech and filter of hearing as well?
Very nice question, Amma. Thank you. Actually, when somebody is asking, speaking is very easy. So I pray that whatever I'm speaking whatever I'm speaking, Krishna gives me strength to act that way. Anudvekaram vakyam satyam prihitam chayat swadhyaya abhyasanam chana vanmayam tapmuchyate. So there's a Bhagavad Gita verse, the austerity of speech. You speak in such a way it's not agitating to others. Anu udvega karam vakyam. So our speech should not be agitating to others. Even the truth is not palatable, we have to tell the truth and we have to very carefully pack it up in such a way it is acceptable to others. So you have to speak next. So austerity of speech includes first thing you have to speak in such a way that is not agitating to others. Anindvekaram vakyam. Satyam, as much as possible, speak truth. Priyam, speak that is palatable to them, others. Hitam, whatever is good for them. Hey, this is good for you. Should speak. Swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva. Swadhyaya, read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. And recite Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam with your tongue. This is the tapasya for the tongue, as with regards to speech. But with regards to hearing, when we hear lecture, Bhagavatam lecture like this, 3 things we should do. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. You hear the lecture with the desire to memorize, Mananam, repeat. Okay, what is that I should apply? And out of the 10 points that you take from the class, okay, this point I should apply. I should change my life. When you do Nididhyasanam and I'll take this point home, then that lecture becomes a transformative session for you. But as much as possible, we should not hear blasphemy of others. And also, we should not speak, which is agitating. I have a question for you. Do you know, my question is, if Suruchi knew that this heavy sentence she said, sentences 2, 3, not more than that, would kill her son in future and will burn her alive, Suruchi would do that? Huh?
No, Prabhu. No.
We have no idea. Our enemy is our tongue and our mind. Suruchi never knew. Vishnu tells before leaving, Dhruva, I have given you this planet, but also your stepmother shall be burned to death. Narayan is telling. Why was she burned to death? Uttam was killed, her son was killed. So she became mad. So because that constituted Vaishnava Aparad, Vishnu is telling this is going to happen to her, to Dhruva, Hare Krishna. Do you think Daksha would have offended if only Daksha had known it would cost his head and he would get a good head? Daksha would become envious of Lord Shiva and offend him in that assembly, Brahma's assembly? No. We don't know our consequences of our speech. So just very innocently we speak out of envy or out of arrogance. And who pays the price? We pay the price. First thing is we should resolve, I will not criticize anybody. And second thing is, If they criticize me, that's okay. It's my karma. I take it as my karma and go forward. So that's what Suniti did. Amazing, Suniti. Suniti went back to Godhead. Wow. When Kove pulled the strings, Suniti didn't pull. So we don't criticize anybody. We try to eat prasad with the tongue and with speech, hearing. That's your question. Hearing, hear Krishna Katha, but don't hear blasphemy. When somebody is speaking ill of anybody, you walk out. I cannot, I cannot, I have given up so many people left me, and how my life has become better. It's becoming better and better. I cannot ruin my bhakti just because you're my friend and you're speaking ill of somebody. I don't know truth. If sometimes, you unknowingly hear, don't act on it.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. But just one quick extension, that what if someone talks ill to you, like talks inappropriate with you? How do you take that, Prabhu? When upfront people, like someone blasphemes you out of ahankar, their ego, whatever it is, how do you take that, Prabhu?
That's what I said. When they criticize you, when they blaspheme you, okay, this is my karma. What can I do? I have impurities. So you just walk out, accept it. Don't pull the strings. If Suniti, actually, honestly speaking, the time was not there, I would have shown you 4 responses. If everyone allows, next week I can show. Suniti could have done, अरे बहुत हो गया क्या आपने आप ऐसा करते हो क्या? So next tomorrow Uttam is going, I'll pinch his son, I'll pinch your son and help me. When your son cries, you'll also cry. That is Rajagun response. Let us fight, tit for tat. No, tit for tat doesn't work. We also have Ankara. I want to go back to Godhead. I want to please Krishna. You don't pull the strings. You walk out. Accept it.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Wonderful answers. Really appreciate. Hare Krishna. Dandavat.
So we'll end it here. It's late already. I'm sorry. Vancha kalpatarabhyasya kripa sindhubhyavacha. Paditanam pavanabhyo vaishnavabhyo namo. Anantakot vaishnavandaki jai. One line I want to add, because when your speaker speaks, it comes to him. If you lose your tongue and you speak, you go after half an hour, you realize you did a mistake. You go and ask for forgiveness and patch up as though nothing has happened. That's what we do, because we don't want to. So because of uncontrolled tongue, what can we do? Uncontrolled mind, we cannot overnight change. So sometimes we lose our tongue and we use like heavy words, and then we become angry for 2-3 minutes. You realize your mistake and ask for forgiveness and go forward. That's what I want to add.
So forgiveness from the Lord or from the person, Prabhuji?
Lord and for person both.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol Dando. Thank you, Haribol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for this nectar class and this explanation. So we are so blessed to have your association. Vancha kalpatarvesha kripa sindhu patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavyo Anant Koti Vaishnav ki jai, Namacharya ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Kishore Prabhu ki jai, Bhagvatam ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare